A blessed day, everyone. This is Group A2, and now we will be discussing the application of Thomas Aquinas' natural law on the given issues. So let me first introduce myself. I am Rachel Baleo, and now I will be first discussing death penalty. So let me first define death penalty. So death penalty is the execution of an offender sentenced to death after conviction by a court of law of a criminal offense. So let us now answer if death penalty is ethical or not. So according to the natural law, the answer would be yes, it is ethical, since the state has the duty to protect its citizens both from within and without. Also, natural law can be stated that a punishment is ought to be proportionate to the offense, where death is a proportionate punishment for the gravest crimes committed. When we focus on the human's roles as recipient of natural law, the natural law constitutes the principles of practical rationality. So it can be stated that wrongdoers deserve punishment, and when wrongdoers are guilty of such crimes, authorities have the right to inflict death penalty on those of gravest offenses. Thus, to conclude, a sentence of life would protect the public, making it a distinction between innocent life and life of an unjust aggressor. So it can be concluded that death penalty is a just and reasonable act. That's why it is moral on the side of Thomas Aquinas. Next issue, please.
So the next issue is the same-sex marriage. So first, let me introduce myself. I'm Kyle Michael A. Cabilitazan. So what is same-sex marriage? So same-sex marriage is marriage between partners of the same sex or gender identity. Also, homosexuality refers to relations between men or between women who experience an exclusive or predominant attraction between towards of the same sex. So according to Dr. Fitzgibbons, have proposed that the three most important risk factors for developing same-sex disorder in men are weak masculine identity. While for women, the risk factors are mistrust of men's love. So furthermore, a real sexual union can only be achieved between a man and a woman. So, according to Aquinas, in his condemnation of homosexual conduct, it is contrary to veneral act as becoming to the human race. Also, Aquinas has clearly states that homosexual behavior, population, male with male or female with female, is contrary to the natural order of the veneral act. Also, male with male or female with female is called the vice of sodomy. And also, he further said the unnatural vices which identified as homosexual copulation or masturbation is called heterosexual. So again, marriage is incredibly important according to Aquinas. It's against the purpose, the function of marriage, and not using your kind of your genitals for what they are supposed to be intended for according to Aquinas. Hence, it relied on a natural law of morality that homosexuality is morally wrong.
I am Nina May FEC Martinez. I will be reporting the Is Divorce Moral? So, according to Thomas Aquinas, marriage is a lifelong union by God. Its primary purpose is oriented toward a natural good, the survival of human species. So, is divorce moral for him? No. Aquinas' position on friendship in marriage is one of the most attractive parts of his philosophy of marriage. So, he should not give that up. On the other hand, most people reject this. And so practically, the problem has been sidestepped by having judges who disapprove of divorce from a moral standpoint disqualify themselves or by viewing the divorce action as not an intrinsically evil act. So, but also according to him, classical natural law theory, such as the theory of Thomas Aquinas, focuses on the overlap between natural law and moral and legal theories. So divorce is not governed by natural law principle, but there are some cases that it is morally acceptable. While natural law applied to all humans and was unchanging, human law could vary with time, place, and circumstances. So, and according to him, an ordinance of reason for the common good, made and enforced by a ruler of government. He warned, however, that people were not bound to obey laws made by humans that conflicted with natural law. So the divorce is a human law, and Aquinas said that it also depend or vary with time, place, and circumstances. So Thomas Aquinas followed the philosophy of Aristotle. So he believed that the universe is organized so that each thing in it has a purpose of goals. Um, we as human beings, we are capable of reasoning. So we should develop our intellect, and since we are all living things are inclined to preserve our own lives. In this principle, the principle of double effect. This principle has aimed to provide specific guidelines of determining when it is morally permissible to perform an action in pursuit of a good and in full knowledge that the action will also bring about the bad results. The principle of double effect has played a significant role in this discussion of many difficult normative questions. Under these circumstances, it is permissible to perform an action causing bad effects if you meet these four conditions. This formulation, this action, the four principles is the one of this is the action itself is morally neutral or morally good. The bad effect is not that means by which the good effect is achieved, the motive, but be the achievement of or the goal effect only. The good effect is at least equivalent in importance to the bad effect. So classical formulation of the principle of double effect require that four conditions be met if the action in question is morally permissible. So of course, this criteria requires a means by which you determine whether something is morally good, neutral, or bad. Aquinas used this combination of his Roman Catholic faith and one of the Aristotle's teachings. So also according to him, is the worst moral? So this act is still morally acceptable based on his principles. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I am Fritz Johnson Dumaking Mimang. Is legalization of marijuana moral? According to Thomas Aquinas, the issue in legalization of marijuana is moral in terms of medical usage to help people who is suffering from illness. But thinking of using it abusively, then it is no longer moral. Using marijuana as a vice or leisure of time has a big impact which can harm the functioning of our human body and also to the society. Applying it to natural law, the legalization of marijuana, Thomas Aquinas would say that as it does not break the rules of natural law, then it is okay to legalize marijuana. However, he would need to consider how some people may abuse the use of marijuana. Based on the studies, if it saved life due to its medicinal usage, then it is morally right to legalize marijuana. But if it destroys more life, then it is morally wrong. Using marijuana as for the goodness of people and the society is good. Marijuana, a thing in itself, has nothing to do with what is wrong and right. It depends on the people on how they use it. If they use it in a good way, like using it as medicine, then it is moral, but if they use it on illegal drugs, then it is wrong. It is better to study it first if it is good or bad to the people and the society for the present and future before legalizing it, because what if they use it on bad doings?
My name is Valerie Joy Tiutiu and I will be discussing about the mandatory COVID-19 vaccination. So, is mandatory COVID-19 vaccination moral? So, before we talk about that, let's talk first about the ethical issue concerning the mandatory COVID-19 vaccine. Um, the, the COVID-19 vaccine is not 100% proven, but still prevention is better than cure. Okay, so let's go back to is mandatory COVID-19 vaccination moral? So mandatory COVID-19 vaccination is morally acceptable according to St. Aquinas' theory of natural law. He stated there that the light of reason is placed by nature and thus by God and every man to guide him in his acts. Therefore, human beings alone among God's creatures use reason to lead their lives. Aquinas also stated that reason reveals particular natural laws that are good for humans, such as self-preservation. So, COVID-19 vaccination is made to preserve human lives. While natural law applied to all humans and was unchanging, human law could vary with time, place, and circumstance. Aquinas defined this last type of law as an ordinance of reason for the common good, made and enforced by a ruler or government. He warned, however, that people were not bound to obey laws made by humans that conflicted with natural law. COVID-19 vaccination is made to protect human life by giving the human body immunity from COVID-19, but not entirely, as the humans can still get infected even when vaccinated, but it lessens the chance of dying and suffering from its symptoms. So, is mandatory COVID-19 vaccination moral? Yes, it is moral.